The movie starts in the untamed world of Yacha Prime, stretched beneath a blood-red sky, a planet of jagged cliffs, molten rivers, and barren plains where the strongest ruled and the weak were discarded. Among these hunters lived Dek, a runt Yacha, small in stature and underestimated by his own clan. His brother Kui was searching for him, blades in hand. Their encounter was inevitable. When Dek lunged from the shadows, Kui blocked effortlessly, deflecting each strike with the precision of a master. Sparks flew as metal met metal, the sound echoing through the empty halls. Dek, you rely too much on strength, Kui said, eyes sharp and calculating. Use the environment. Learn the hunter's mind. Dek, fists clenched, pressed forward with blind determination. He struck pillars, walls, even machinery, trying to force an opening. Kui's movements were fluid, almost serene. With one calculated strike, he shattered a pillar beneath them, and Dek plummeted into a deep trench, the metallic echo of his fall ringing in the cavern. Bruised, battered, yet alive, Dek climbed the cavern walls, every muscle screaming, yet his determination unbroken. Kui did not strike to kill, he only wanted his brother to understand his place. "Sothong, you are not ready, Dek," he murmured, watching as the runt pressed forward once more. Later aboard the ship, Kui handed Dek a choice. "Hunt, and prove your worth," he said. Dek's gaze hardened. "I will hunt Jana, the death planet, and slay the Kallusk, the beast even father fears. I am not weak." Their father Nyar returned in a blaze of fury. "You survive. You are a disgrace," he roared. Dek knelt, offering blood and respect. Nyar's eyes gleamed with cruelty. "I ordered Kui to kill you. Weakness cannot endure here." Kui refused, shielding Dek, but Nyar's power was overwhelming. With a single gesture, he bound Dek in a restraint device and unleashed a torrent of energy upon his son. Kui, mortally wounded in the confrontation, used his last strength to shatter the device and launch Dek into an escape ship. The runt watched helplessly as Kui fell, hearing his final words echo in his mind. "Bring it home." Dek's ship, damaged by orbiting debris, plummeted toward Jana. He ejected, deploying his shields just before crashing into the dense jungle below. He rose, fists bloodied, eyes burning with rage and grief. The forest was alive, each root and vine moving with intent. Exploding plants spit acidic toxins, venomous creatures leapt from shadows, and Dek, agile and determined, fought to survive. His first encounter was with sentient vines that tore at his cloak and weapons. He sliced through them, blood mixing with sap, and climbed a cliff to survey the alien landscape. Towering trees twisted with razor leaves, their branches moving as if sensing his presence. Among the wreckage, he discovered Thea, a synthetic human engineered by Weyland-Yutani, trapped in a nest of writhing flora. Before he could react, a predatory creature struck. Dek froze as needles pierced his armor. Thea acted swiftly, stabbing the beast, and saving him. She revealed her nature, half destroyed by Cullisk, and offered a deal. She would guide Dek to the monster's lair if he helped retrieve her mechanical legs. Bound by Yacha code to hunt alone, Dek reluctantly accepted, seeing her only as a tool to achieve his goal. Their journey through Jana was relentless. Acid-spitting worms erupted from the soil, razor-sharp grasses sliced at flesh and armor, and predatory fauna ambushed without warning. A small resilient creature began following them, mimicking Dek's movements and proving its usefulness in unexpected moments. Though initially resentful, Dek learned to rely on it, naming it Bud after Thea revealed its identity as Cullusk's offspring. Dek, though still focused on honor and glory, began to understand protection and strategy, and around a fire, Dek reflected on his past. A father who valued strength above all else, a brother who sacrificed himself, and a clan that saw him as weak. Thea reframed grief as strength in the form of vigilance and loyalty, though Dek's pride would not yet allow him to accept it fully. As they neared a river, Dek found the wreckage of Thea's base. Her legs, damaged and scattered, became a beacon signaling her crew. She pleaded with Dek to leave before Weyland-Yutani arrived, but Dek's honor forbade retreat. The hunt demanded confrontation. Smoke rose as the earth trembled. The Cullisk appeared, a towering regenerative monstrosity, whose very presence warped the jungle around it. Dek attacked with fury, but every wound healed, every limb regrew. The beast was unkillable, just as legend foretold. The battle raged with brutal intensity. Dek dodged crushing blows, scaled Cullisk's massive tail, and launched strikes with precision. Thea fired from cover, her weapons buying him time. Together they used machinery, chains and the environment to subdue the creature temporarily. Dek decapitated the beast mid-air, only to watch its head reattach moments later. Sparks from exploding plants illuminated the jungle, creating fleeting harsh shadows across Dek's bloodied armor. A freezing grenade detonated, encasing both hunter and prey in ice, their breaths steaming in the sudden cold. Dek awoke aboard a Weyland-Yutani cruiser, strapped to a table. Thea hung suspended nearby, connected to a repair system. Tessa, the corporate operative, monitored Dek, her intent cold and clinical. "Yautja are tools, not hunters," she declared, flooding Dek with pain. Thea fought the restraints, pleading for autonomy and the value of strength in bonds, not obedience. Dek, enraged, exploited the chaos to escape. plunging into a raging waterfall below the base, water tearing at his wounds but life surging in every step. Wounded but alive, Deck tended to himself, and forged weapons from the jungle, razor grass blades, explosive flowers, and acid-spitting worms. He reunited with Bud, realizing the creature was Cullisk's offspring, spared due to Deck's scent and courage. Covering Bud in his own scent, Deck marked the creature as protected. Tracking the Thea's autonomous legs, Deck infiltrated the Weyland-Yutani base, eliminating guards with lethal precision. Bud struck with deadly efficiency, mimicking Deck's tactics. Thea rejoined her body, and together they assaulted the facility. Tessa, donning a heavy combat suit, hunted Deck through corridors riddled with traps, explosions, and biological hazards. Deck sabotaged the suit, redirected grenades, and orchestrated a final confrontation. The Kallusk, freed, clashed with Tessa's machinery. Deck disrupted her controls, while Thea facilitated the beast's liberation. The battle ended when Deck struck Tessa, and Bud finished her, avenging Kallusk's death and fulfilling his role as protector. Returning to Yacha Prime, Deck presented Tessa's head to Nyar, who demanded execution. Deck defeated the guards and confronted his father in a climactic duel. Using dust and quick reflexes to negate Nyar's invisibility, Deck struck decisively, killing him. Nyar for the first time offered acceptance, but Deck refused. His clan was forged not by blood, but by loyalty. Thea and Bud at his side. As Deck retrieved his cloak, signaling his full transition to a true Yacha, a ship descended from the sky. A familiar silhouette emerged. Deck smiled. "It's my mother," he said, marking the beginning of a new chapter.